Good morning, students. Okay, so today we are going to start our final unit, which talks about the uncertainty. So this is our textbook and NPTEL mapping. Now this unit is consisting of two chapters from our textbook, that is quantifying uncertainty and probabilistic reasoning. Now we may have certain statements in our knowledge base, which is like event A happens rarely or event B is oftenly found in the environment, right? So this rarely and oftenly, these are very vague statements, right? We cannot process this vague statement. So what we want some exact value, means with how much probability that event occurs, right? So when we have uncertain data, okay, first thing that we have to do is we have to quantify that uncertainty. Okay, so this first unit talks about that, quantifying uncertainty. So we'll see what is acting under uncertainty or is all about, then basic probability notations, then inference using full joint distribution. Okay, so we have to study this joint distribution concept of that, then independence. Okay, so two events may happen independent of each other, so in that situation how to derive the probability. Then we will see Bayesian rules and its use. Okay, so we will talk about the conditional probability and Bayes rule, and then based on this knowledge we'll try to work in our Wumpus world example. Okay, so we will try to introduce the uncertainty there and we will try to derive the probability. Once we have a probability, then we will deal with the reasoning. Okay, so in reasoning what we do, we derive new facts, right? So based on that uncertain data, we'll see first how to represent that knowledge, then we'll see the semantics of Bayesian networks, efficient representation of conditional distribution, exact inference in Bayesian networks, approximate inference in Bayesian networks. Okay, so now approximation is also important. Okay, we need not to derive exact probability value, because that procedure may be time consuming. Okay, so we will see techniques like Monte Carlo. Okay, so where we will do approximation. Then relational and first order probability models. Okay, so various models are defined. One of them is possible world model. Okay, that we are going to study here. And then finally is other approaches to uncertain reasoning. So this is the overall content of this unit. Okay, so till this point we have considered the ideal cases. Okay, so when we talked about any statement in our knowledge base, we assume that statement is true, that is certain, and the probability of that sentence is 1. Okay, so let us revisit to our Wumpus world example. So we know that it is a cave, and there we have rooms. Okay, and somewhere there is a Wumpus, and there is one rule there. So if we have a pit in one of the room, then we feel breeze in the neighborhood of that, right? And we have written a first order logic statement for that also. That statement was for all square S, if there is breeze in that implies that, okay, it is a double implication, there exists some neighbor which is adjacent. Okay, so we have adjacent predicate. Okay, this R is adjacent to square S. Okay, and there is pit at square R, right? We have seen this statement, right? So for all square where we are feeling breeze, that implies that if and only if there exists some square R which is adjacent to R, this adjacency means 4 adjacency. Okay, and R square has a pit, right? So this is R and this can be one of the S, right? Now we assume that this sentence is true, okay, but we may feel breeze. So consider this square S. We may feel breeze at location S due to peat which is located at this square also. If we have strong breeze going on this in this room, there can be some percentage of wind going to this square S, right? Okay, so when we have breeze at square S, that doesn't mean it is coming from its adjacent square. It may come from some other pit also. Okay, so this is true oftenly, but it may occur rarely because of pit at some other location also. Getting my point? Okay, so we have, so if breeze is there at square S, we are uncertain that where from where it is coming, the breeze is coming. Okay, most oftenly it will be from the 4 neighborhood, okay, but it may be from some other location also. Okay, so in such scenario uncertainty appears, okay, and we have to handle that. Let me give you second example. Consider there is a dental patient who is having a toothache. Okay, now this patient may feeling toothache due to cavity. So simple statement, I can say that toothache is due to cavity, but it is true. Is it true? No, that patient may have some gum problem also, right? That toothache is maybe due to the gum problem, or there is one disease called I think I forgot that name. It is given abscess. Yes, abscess. The example is taken from the textbook. So abscess ABSC. In this disease we have a swollen gums, okay, and there can be any other reason also. Okay, so when we talk about implication, P implies Q. P is known as antecedent and Q is known as consequent, right? So we may have infinite number of consequent. Okay, so the initial statement, which was this much only, it is not exactly true. Okay, most oftenly it may happen due to cavity, but it is not true always. Okay, so in order to complete that statement, I need to add this information also. Okay, and I don't know the actual reason also. Okay, so there is some lack in the knowledge. That means some uncertainty is there. Okay, one way to resolve this statement is, as cavity is most oftenly causing toothache, I can write this: if cavity is there, then toothache will be there. Now this statement is also not true, because all cavity may not cause toothache. Okay, the basic cavity may not cause toothache, right? This is also not true 100%. Okay, so in this scenario uncertainty will be there and we have to handle that. Consider another example. If a patient has symptoms A, okay, A is representing the set of symptoms. Now if that patient visits doctor, one of the doctors, then he may suggest that it has a disease D1. Okay, and if we take opinion of some other doctor, he may suggest that he has disease D2. Okay, now this doctor may infer this statement, this disease with 0.8 probability. Okay, and this doctor too may infer this disease with some percentage of probability, let's say 0.6. Okay, so in every scenario of our life we have to deal with the uncertainty. Okay, now which one to consider, which fact to consider? Okay, whether to consider all the facts or not. Okay, how to derive the final probability. Another example can be, so if we have chaining, So consider event A implies B. Okay, again this event is not certain, so let's say this is happening with 0.7 probability, and then B is deriving C with, let's say, 0.6 probability. Okay, now we have modus ponens rule, right? So if A is known, okay, and this is given, then we can infer B also, right? Okay, we have seen the modus ponens rule, right? If A is given and we have implication A implies B, then we can infer B, right? And then if B is inferred, then we have this implication also, and then we can derive C also, right? Now let us introduce the uncertainty there. Now consider A event is known with some probability 0.8. Okay, so A is also not a certain event, it has a probability of 0.8. this implication has 0.7 probability, then B implies C has 0.6 probability. Now in this case, what will be the probability of C? How to infer that? Okay, how to quantify that probability? That is the main objective of this unit. Did you get these scenarios? Okay, so in many cases, even if you consider diagnosis of failure of any mechanical machine, there involves some probability, right? It may be due to short circuit, or it may be due to the failure of one of the part, okay, or it can be any other nonsense reason. Okay, so we have to derive the probability of that. Okay, there will be some a major cause, or it can be happened due to some other reason also. Okay, so this is the main objective of this. Okay, okay, so now let us watch one video together. So this is from NPTEL. Now he will give some example, so which will highlight the importance of this event. Okay, unit. So let us watch this for 15 to 20 minutes.
The real doctor, or you are communicating with an expert system, a computer program, for that matter.
Is it audible to you? Video sound?
Now, today in our lecture, we...
Anyone? Akshar?
Sir, audible.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the patient listening. So now I hope the background is clear to you. Okay, and the importance of the unit is explained through this video. Now the sir has talked about various types of reasoning. So we are familiar with deductive reasoning. Next one is abductive reasoning, and then we are going to study inductive reasoning also. Then he talked about uncertainty versus impreciseness, right? Where uncertainty comes, or where we have imprecise data, that we have seen. Then in such cases we have to quantify the uncertainty in terms of frequency, right? With how much frequency that event occurs, right? And then he talked about measure of belief, and then finally he talked about propagation of uncertainty. I hope the concepts are clear to you, and the importance of this unit is also understood by you. Okay, so we'll stop here.